Jacob, how would you compare the duo of Jacob Warren and Princeton Fant to Jacob Warren and McAllen Castles? Is it similar? Is it different? How would you assess that?
That's very similar. I think McAllen does a lot of things that Princeton did last year, just in how athletic he is, how strong he is, just his speed and the things he's able to do on the perimeter is really cool. So you'll see that this year. See him getting really involved in the pass game and doing some really cool things with him in the backfield. Just a guy that truly comes to work every single day, both of them really. But obviously McAllen's here now, and so just a guy that I can really depend on, I can trust, and that I know will have my back when we're out there together.
Jacob, have you seen Ethan Davis progress over the course of camp, and how close do you think he is to be able to help you guys?
Yeah, man, Ethan's taken a lot of steps since he stepped on campus here, back in January, and he really looks up to me. I know you guys have heard him talk just kind of about our relationship, but man, he means a lot. He means a lot to me just as someone that I look at as, where I was at one point, right, and having not a huge understanding of how this whole thing works, but just trying to listen to the guys ahead of me, listen to the coach, and just buy into the process. And he'll be right where we need him. And obviously this season's going to be huge for him to just learn how to play at this level. And then obviously going into next year, hopefully be really ready to take over and be the guy.
Casey in the back and then Rob.
This weekend's your first game of the year. How surreal is it to look back over the past 6 years from that first year to now?
Yeah, it's been amazing. Things start to slow down a little bit, and you start to kind of be able to appreciate every moment. Just getting out of fall camp and just thinking about how, when I was younger, just dreading every day of fall camp and just not enjoying it, right, because I wasn't having a lot of success when I was younger. I wasn't quite big enough, quite strong enough, fast enough. But being able to go into just these practices in this camp and this season with a great understanding of who I am as a player, also just our playbook, right, just having a great understanding after being in the system for 2 years, having a lot of confidence going in and just doing what I need to do.
Jacob, from coaches to players to whoever we talk to, there seems to be a great amount of confidence in Joe at the quarterback position. Does that come more from the way he closed last season or the way he's kind of approached everything since January?
Just all of it, man. I think since he stepped foot on campus, I remember, literally probably one of the first days that he's on campus, he's already texting me, hey, like, let's go throw. Like, let's go get on the field somewhere. Let's go find a park. Let's go, just try to build this thing, right? Because he knew that his moment would come and he needed to be prepared for it. So just the way that Joe's approached every day since he's been here, as a leader, as a player, obviously the guy's a specimen. Like, he's physically gifted more than anybody that I've ever seen at the quarterback position. So obviously a lot of trust in that part of his game, but also just how much he's developed his relationships with everybody on the team, and just how much trust we have in him after seeing it kind of proven in the last little bit of the season last year that he made a lot of plays for us.
Jacob, how do you look at the options on offense, especially at some of those skill positions in your position? It's a deeper room. Running back seems deeper than it has. There's plenty of wide receiver options, even though you lost a couple of key guys last year. Yeah. How do you view all the weapons on offense you guys have this year?
I mean, this is how you're successful in a league like this, and it's how you do well with a high-tempo offense, with an offense that's extremely balanced, right? You got to have really good backs. You got to have really good wide receivers. And then a guy that can really get them the ball, right? And we have all that, and I think that, we got some younger guys coming up in that running back room, but also in the wide receiver room that are going to have to step up and kind of mature a little bit on the field, right? And just be able to make those huge plays whenever they're called on, and they're more than ready. Man, I've seen it in camp time and time again about, guys understanding exactly where they need to be and going and making those plays that we ask them to.
Jacob, how different is the first game of a season to prepare for than sort of any other game is? I mean, even with a bowl game, you've seen teams during the regular season. Everybody's got all these guys from the portal, freshmen coming in and playing, new schemes, new coaches. Yeah. How do you even start whittling it down to prepare for that?
I think the first game is kind of cool because naturally you just get a lot more time to prepare, right? There's been a few weeks that we've been kind of looking at the first game of the year and there's no point in looking beyond, right? So Virginia's really the only people we're worried about right now. So we've had a little bit of time to prepare for them. But like you mentioned, man, the big thing about the first game of the year and in bowl games, the same way you said, was just eliminating eliminating the small errors, right? The little things like penalties and false starts and mental errors, being in the wrong spot or making the wrong calls. Like, there's just a lot of things that teams make these mistakes that are crucial to them winning the game, and just being able to focus on the details, protect the ball, take care of the ball, and execute where others won't be able to. That's the big thing about the first game of the season is eliminating all those mistakes.
I know they've been somewhat cautious with you and a couple of the older guys, just trying to get you to the start of the season as healthy as one can be. Kind of where are you at physically heading into this thing, and kind of compare it to other years heading into the season?
Yeah, I feel great. I really do. I know it's been, this is my 6th year, and you would think, the body wouldn't feel very good. But at the end of the day, I've, felt this pain for 5 years now, and I've gone into a season understanding, like, okay, I just had a rough fall camp, and my body doesn't necessarily feel great, but, man, this is the best I'm going to feel all year, right? So I'm happy about where I am. Obviously, there's little things here and there, just playing football, that you have to deal with, but at this point, I'm more than capable of dealing with the little bumps and bruises and things like that. So just excited to continue to be healthy and just, man, trust the Lord. I'll be all right? He's going to protect me through everything, and I'm just happy to get this thing rolling and be healthy.
When we heard from John Campbell Jr., seemed like quite the character.
Yeah.
Can you share some insight on what he's like as a player, but then also what he's brought to the room and to your offense?
Man, the biggest word with him is just passion, dude. Like, probably things that a lot of people haven't seen is just him, his fire and his drive, and the way he motivates his players and his teammates. That guy came here to win games, and he came here to be a part of this culture. I gave him a ride home. His car was in the shop or something back in the spring, and I gave him a ride home from one of our practices, and I was like, dude, why'd you come here? You know what I mean? He's like, this place just looked so fun to play. Like, it looked like you guys truly care about each other, and that's all he heard about this place was how much we love each other, and we were having success, right? And so he's like, why not be a part of that? And the guy's an amazing talent, you know what I mean? And he's going to help us out a lot, but just the passion and the fire that he brings for his teammates is amazing.
Anything else for Jacob? All right.
Okay, thank you.
Omari, looking at Virginia, I know that there's some new personnel, but kind of what do they do well offensively? What are they going to do to try to put you guys in bad spots?
They're a really good team who they really want you to just try to read step with them. They want you to, as far as defensive line-wise, they give you a lot of eye candy, a lot of things that they want you to bite so that way they can do a lot of misdirection things. So that's a lot that we've been practicing, just working on, make sure we play vertical so that way we're not stepping and reading and things like that, so that way we're getting washed as a defensive line. So it's been good just really going in, watching the film from last year and different things like that, and just really being able to just focus on what they do well, which is like really just trying to get you, like I said, just a lot of eye candy, misdirection, things like that. So that's some things that we really just been focusing on.
Ryan?
Just to kind of put it simply, how ready are you to play a team that isn't your own?
Could you repeat that, my fault?
Just how ready are you to play a team that isn't your own?
Yeah, I'm excited, real excited. Just being able to start in off-season in January up to now, we've just continued to grow together as a team. We battle at practice, we compete, always just really being able to go out there and compete against each other. But now, it's time to actually just go out there and play against somebody else, and so it'll be fun just to go out there full of adrenaline and excitement and just have fun and just play with our hair on fire.
Vince?
Mark, how much improved is this D-line room, the group with depth, numbers, ability? What do you see in that room right now?
I see a lot of brotherhood. Like, everyone's always pushing each other. Everyone's always wanting the best for each other. We love our depth as a defensive line. We want everybody to be able to go in and make plays. And the main thing that we really just focused on this offseason was making sure it was no drop-off. Like, so you got ones, then you got twos, and we just want to make sure when those twos come in, we can get all the way into our threes and still play at an elite level. And that's something that we all wanted to do because, we're big guys. We get tired. So when you come down to it, you still want to have those same brothers behind you that's playing at the same level as you. So that's what we do very well, and we're just real excited. And I've seen us grow a lot, just everyone growing their own way, whether it's on the field, off the field. And I feel like it's all just coming into place, and we all just continuing to connect with each other.
Omari, what have you seen from Dominic Bailey throughout the summer and this fall camp?
I've seen Dom just really continue to build on what he was started last year. He really just locked in, really just being there. I wanted to be great. Dom comes in every day. He's one of the first people in the building every day. Just taking care of his body, making sure everything's good, just so he can go out there and play for his brothers. That's something about Dom. he's real quiet, real laid back, but he's gonna do it. He's gonna give you everything that he has, and that's why the team loves him. And I've seen him grow as a player, and he's just becoming more vocal as well, just continuing to come out of his shell. And like I'm very excited to see what Dom does this season because he's just putting in so much work.
I know Cooper's been out, and there's still positions to be settled on the offensive line, but just curious what some of those battles have been like in going up against that O-line unit.
Yeah, our O-line is they're going to be good. They play aggressive, play fast, be physical. That's what they do. You know, we've gotten that. And like you said, he's been out, but at the same time, those guys have stepped up. They've raised their play. They understand. They're communicating, going through the offense. You see those guys putting in extra work, all that. So they're just continuing to grow with each other and continuing to just be able to move that needle as an offensive line that they want to do as we want to do as a team. And so they're going to be a good offensive line. They're just continuing to grow like everyone else on the team as well.
Omari, you guys have talked a lot about improving your pass rush. For you individually, have you really tried to focus on becoming more of a three-down guy, that stays on the field in third and long, and how do you feel like that growth has gone for you?
I feel like that's something, like you said, I just worked on this offseason, just really continuing to work on my hands, work on everything that goes into pass rush and being a three-down guy. So that's good. That I'm proud of myself for being able to do that. And like you said, like we play a lot of snaps, so we got to be able to have a bunch of people who can play three downs, you know, so that's something that we really just focused on as far as like four-man pass rush, just not be able to bring blitzes and everything like that. I feel like that's something that we continue to grow all offseason from spring into now as well.
I know you guys are in one game at a time mode, but in camp or in the offseason, how much have you guys talked about winning the East? I mean, even Joe Milton with his Beats gift mentioned that in the card. How much has that been a topic of conversation with you guys?
I feel like it's good to say, you know, we have our right here, right now. That's our thing. That's our question. Where are you right here, right now? Just being in the moment, going 1-0 every week. But that is our goal as a team, and we understand that, and that's pushed to us all the time, like, let's go win the East. And we understand what we have to do. We got to go 1 week at a time to win the East. You can't look over anybody. You can't look down the schedule or anything like that. When the games come, they'll come. But you just got to handle where you're at right now in order to win the East. So it all plays all together, and we understand that that's our one big goal is to win the East.
Anything else for Omari? All right, thanks, Omari.
Yep.
How would you assess the receiver room coming out of fall camp and going into the opener, and just kind of what do you want to see from y'all's group on Saturday?
I feel like we're more mature, we're more like a professional group. We come to work every single day. I expect us to go out there and just do what we do. It's no pressure. Just go out there and play like how we practice.
Rick?
Ramel, what have you learned about the Virginia defense ahead of the opener?
You talking about like from the spring game or like just overall?
Just now, going into the game Saturday.
What's the general of their defense?
Oh yeah, I mean they like to play single high. They like to play man, three. They like to mix in quarters, like any other defense. But most time they like to play man, so that's good.
Austin?
Ramel, you're not a real talkative guy, but for those younger players that maybe were in your position where you were a couple of years ago, do you ever talk to those guys about, hey, look at me, I stay patient, and, I'm getting my moment now. You got to stay patient too, like for those younger guys that haven't necessarily cracked the starting lineup yet?
Yeah, I probably wouldn't like just say it, but if they need kind of encouragement, I'll tell them like everything happened for a reason. Like you might be doing this because God probably sent you up for something different. You probably got to work even harder to get what you need. So, but they understand that, and it's no egos, nothing like that. So I feel like they'll be successful like knowing that.
What have you seen from Caleb and Chaz this fall camp? Some of the coaches have talked about the steps that they took. What do you see from them from your vantage point?
Caleb actually grew a lot in his game. He's more mature. He's more patient. He's not just rushing everything. Like he has tempo in his routes and his releases, everything, and it's all coming together for him. I feel like once he gets in, once he plays, like it's no drop off. Like or Chad, like they gonna come in. People might think like, oh, they just a backup, but like they really not. They ready to play, so that's good. That's good for the coaching staff too. Like knowing like you got a backup that's ready to play too. So.
Anything else for Ramel?
talking about those two guys, obviously you were a guy that had to stay ready for your opportunity last year. Do you talk to them about what you went through and kind of having to be ready because you never know when someone might get hurt and you have to go in and play a lot?
Yeah, not like necessarily like straight like that, but if I see them like maybe slacking off, I'd be like, you got to prepare like you the starter because you don't never know what can happen because sometimes they might be like laughing or something, something like that. But we got to lock in. But there's nothing wrong with that because they still young, but still like putting in their head like you got to really like lock in because you don't know what can happen, and you might get 80 plays, and you don't want to go out there and not be ready for your opportunity. So just keeping that in their head.
Anything else? All right, thanks, Ramel.